Hello there! We are back, everybody. We are back. And yes, of course we were back already, but I just wanted to say, give you all a good stream and a little better than the longer delay that we had. So as I see a commercial coming up, I don't know what's happening because my stream is buffering. I don't know, Johnny, if you're watching, is your stream buffering or does it keep on going? Very nice start of the stream like this. Technical difficulties, always nice. I'm looking in the background what I've got running. I'm not downloading any sketchy shit, everybody. Nothing is I'm looking at my own stream right now and it seems to be fine on your guys' end. So I'm just gonna be talking and things should be fine. It's just the Twitch website not helping out at the moment. But yeah, welcome to MultiClass Misano, everybody. Mr. Marta is here in the chat as well. And of course we already seen Johnny. But we're looking at Digi Deliverance doing his first couple of laps around Misano, and to get you up to speed to Misano, we have of course our track info. We've got 4.2 kilometers or 2.6 miles of track. It's a 16 turn track with a clockwise rotation, being built in 1971 and had updates since 1990 plus. Pole starts on the right side and we are of course in Italy, and it's called the Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli. And then the nickname, very creative from the Italians, is the same name. And it's Marco Simoncelli was a famous MotoGP rider, not a driver of course, a rider. And that's the track info for you all on Misano. And then we have of course Johnny prefers to be a guest. Alright. Well, you're welcome, Johnny. I'm feeling a lot better than this weekend. I had a little bit of a flu, I think, or a cold. I don't know what the hell was going on, but yeah, I didn't feel that awesome. Otherwise I would have been doing the endurance. I hope you all had a great endurance if you drove it, but yeah, we are back. Pit stop wise, on Misano, we are looking at a 1 liter refuel time of 36 seconds, but we're gonna be of course having 25 seconds standing time, and that's 58 seconds, everybody, without tires, and with tires it's gonna be 63 seconds approximately. It's never gonna be exactly that amount, but at least you will have a general idea of what the pit stop will be costing you. And Johnny will be back as well. Of course you will be back, Johnny. You can't leave us alone. Like, one Johnny already left me. One Johnny is back to work. And I gotta keep the other Johnny. If both Johnnies are gonna leave me, it's not gonna go well. And we see Son Myers at the moment in P1. I did see Marvinelli in P1 in practice though, in pre-practice. And with these Gt3s and Gt4s on the track, it's a bit of a chaos right now. Qualifying is going to be first 10 minutes is going to be Gt3s. The second 10 minutes is going to be Gt4s, and you will see the Gt4s lining up at the end of the pit lane to wait for that 10-minute timer. And as soon as that hits, these guys will go. And for the Gt3s, as always, if you fail to qualify in front of the Gt4 cars, you will be forced to be starting from the pit lane or get a DNF. And this is all to make sure that everybody in a GT3 is gonna be qualifying and not starting a last to first challenge or messing up the whole field. Of course, having way more speed going through those GT4s in the first couple of corners. And we do have quite a lot of GT4 cars indeed. Ginettas, Aston Martins, McLarens, Mercedes, Porsches. And we have one silly, we've got one silly guy in a BMW M2. As we saw two lovebirds over in the grass just after the first corner combination. We've got, of course, Mr. Will Friedman changed his livery again. I can never recognize this man again. This man is absolutely changing his livery every week I'm here. So, Will Friedman, I've seen you with pink, I've seen you in white, I've seen you in purple, I've seen you in a black on black livery, I've seen you green on black. What's it gonna be next time? Is it gonna be yellow on black? Or is it gonna be blue on black? We never know. Of course, we also have Mr. Dirtiest Drunk in here. I have seen Dirtiest drive a lot of practice laps around various tracks. I have not seen him race in quite some time though. Mr. Hill Billionaire. Saw him a couple of weeks ago with Dabbing Llamas. And there we have Mr. Darkblade in the chat, everybody. Scotty Racing. Good evening. And now we're gonna be waiting for practice to be over. We do of course have Mr. BMW from Switzer Motorsport. As I have someone joining me tonight. He was having a little race, so he has just arrived and he will be coming in on the comms in just a couple of seconds though. So he has been having a little adventure today, and I was looking at his stream earlier and I was hoping he was gonna make it in time. I did have to start the race on my own, but please welcome everybody, Mr. Dabbing Llama, still sweating from the race he just finished.
Hello, how are you doing?
Did you up your mic already, Llamas?
Let me do that first.
And Phil, you were watching the British GT yesterday at Donington Park, and the GT3 cars trying to get through traffic was carnage, and I'm sort of expecting yes, it is very much a challenge, Phil. And I'm kinda with the GT3s, if they fail to qualify in front of the GT4s, they will be forced to start from the pit lane. So at the first couple of laps, or the first lap, I do expect the GT3s to catch back up. But before the GT3s or the GT4s will be lapped, of course there will be some time in between, and I hope the field will be spread out at such a rate or such a wide time-wise for the positions that there is gonna be space enough to be overtaking. Misano is a bit more lenient than Donington, of course. But we have Sun Myris, Llamas.
Yes, I'm joining in right now. Just a bit.
Joining in right now. A little bit on the late side, yes. I do have you. Do you have your stream on already?
Yes. I cannot put the mic louder. Maybe you can put yours lower and then up the stream. If that's a possibility.
And options. And you are not live for me,
Yes, yes, booting up
Lamas.
right now. My apologies. Microphone, yes.
But we're gonna go onboard everybody with Son Myers, because he's already starting his lap. Went to the first corner, the second corner, and this is the third one, coming up on the fourth. Two short right-handers, and then it's a full throttle or almost full throttle to the left. Getting that Mustang back into first gear and then powering out up to that tight right-hander, double right-hander, and then tightening up, going up on the back straight. That back straight is very, very fast, and these last corner combinations, the last three right-handers, it's a very fast right. And then you're gonna be braking into another right. And then the third right over here. And it's gonna be 2 times to the left to go across the start-finish line. And this, for me, exactly this corner where Myers just passed, is very, very slippery for myself.
How do you like Misano? Science. How do you feel about it?
And we have... What do I feel about it? About the multi-class, you mean?
Misano, the track itself. How do you like it?
Misano, the track, it's not my favorite. I don't hate it. I like to drive here, but I always have a track limit problem, just like everybody else. And the track is still fast, and I'm already finding it pretty slippery on an optimum track. So I do like the track layout, but driving it is not my favorite thing to do. I'll do it, but it's not my favorite thing to do. But you can choose sometimes.
Some small technical difficulties keeps giving me an error when I join. I'll get there.
You will get there. I think we might have a completely full lobby, Lamas. No, we don't. We don't. You should have room to join. But we're gonna go. I was gonna say Son Myers put in a fast lap time, but Dirtiest is at the moment 1:33.9. He is the fastest of them all at the moment. Dirtiest in the 33s, and Son Myers still in second place. Dirtiest just improved by 2/10 on his own, so staying in first position. And then we have, of course, Mr. Brian from Switzer Motorsport and Bruce Twarz just going to that third position. Then we have Hygon just in front of Bruce Twarz. And then we have Saber. Always in that recognizable white and blue Ferrari livery. Then we have Mr. Sveni. There could be, that's the beauty, Phil, there could be changeable weather, but it might rain, it might not rain. That's the beauty about an hour race. For now, it's gonna stay cloudy but dry, as we can see in the top. But yeah, things could change at any moment. Ninth position with the orange McLaren. We have Primus Longus probably in the pit lane. and Hushed in the Lexus. Hushed tried the Lexus and he said he really likes it, so I'm gonna be watching him, seeing how he does tonight. I do not want to make him nervous, but we've got 2.5-3 minutes left of today's GT3 qualifying, and everybody who is still on the track after those first 10 minutes have passed will be able to finish their lap. Otherwise, the last 10 minutes is just for our friends of the GT4s. At the moment we have Gt3 in P1, we have Will Friedman in P2, and Stopston out in P3. Son Myers falling back to P4 from P2, and Mr. Brian from Switzer Motorsport having passed Bruce Twarz again. Saber though, still in 7th position, and Marvinelli, who was very busy in the pre-practice, has been falling back to P8. Kieran in P9, and Hygon finishing off that P10 or top 10. Everything can change though with 1 or 2 more laps to go for the GT3s. Will is not getting out of that pit lane anymore. I'm gonna check if there is any GT4s already lining up. And look at this, everybody. They're all waiting with disorderly all the way at the front. All waiting to have a go when that 10-minute timer starts counting down. Marta is in P1, by the way. Marta, P1, and then we have a McLaren of Darkblade, Mr. Scotty. And then there is Disorderly waiting in P3, and in my opinion Flitzerflop in P4. Then we have a red Ginetta of Digi Deliverance, and I was gonna, maybe Steve is awake, but it could be Manbarav in the blue Porsche. And yes, it is. But that's the GT4s waiting to start, everybody. And Dirty is drunk. He's gonna get another lap in. Son Myers is gonna get another lap in. Will Friedman is already in the pit lane, and Bruce Twarz bringing it back in. You will see all the GT3s going back into the pit lane, and we have Mr. Marter starting his warm-up lap, everybody. So we're gonna be looking at Marter first out of the pit lane, first on the track, and gonna be getting the spotlight with a lap on board for the first quali run of the GT4s. And as we see Mr. Lamas but as I see Swine talking, but Lamas was going to join me, but he is having some technical difficulties due to memory issues. I don't know what that is, but as long as he is not here, I will be doing it alone. And of course, I hope he's gonna be here for the start of the race. His Twitch is already running in the background, so as soon as he's here, we can pop him in, and we will be ready to go. But Marta coming up on the last left-hander, everybody, and then we're gonna go on board with the first quali run for the GT4s, everybody. Marta getting the spotlight on Misano. these two right-handers just before coming up on the back straight is called Curva Tramonto. And excuse me for my Italian, guys. I'm not Italian, as you all know. And that fast right-hander, the first fast right-hander is called Curvone. And then we're gonna have these three right-hand combinations called Curva del Caro. Del Caro. Is there an Italian guy in the chat that can actually type it as how I'm supposed to say it? But I'm doing my best over here, guys. Last corner is called Curva Misano. And Rosalski, if you're watching, Curva is corner and not the Polish word, so forget about it. And that was Maarten with, of course, Mr. I was gonna say Mr. Steve is awake, but it's not him, of course. The McLaren was dark blade close on his ass. No clean lap though for dark blade, and Maarten at the moment in P2 with flip-flop driving a, and I'm gonna have to calculate 42 point something, 42.5 for flip-flop. Tony Roll though, just 2 tenths, 1.5 tenths behind Maarten. So Tony Roll is on a roll, everybody, as he's flashing the other cars. And here we have, oh, I was gonna say that's Manbarov, but it is not. It's Mr. I Kiwi and Anderson. Should have gone with the Mecca. Yeah, Marvin, it's always hard changing cars. I don't know if you've just changed for this race, but it's always hard changing car, man. It's always gonna be a little test. Flitserflop with still with that 42.5, 42.6, and Digi Deliverance slotting in behind Flitserflop though, just a tenth difference, under a tenth. Just for the sound. I'm very curious what Mr. Lamas is doing. If he's already back online, yes or no. If he's gonna make it, is he not? Is he gonna make it? Is he not gonna make it? And as we always say on the track, is it gonna be tears or enjoyment? But for Lamas at the moment, it's gonna be tears, I guess. Look at these times, everybody. You've got Flitserflop P1 for the Gt4s with 42.5. Then you've got Digi Deliverance with a 42.6. And then you've got a 42.8 for Maarten. And almost the same, 42.89 for Disorderly. And for Floyd, a 43.0. So these guys are very close together. And then Tony Roll is falling back or falling behind a little bit in this quali. But the top 5 guys are very close together. And Hill Billionaire in the BMW Gt4, everybody. I thought I was the only BMW on the track, being the M2, being the broadcaster car, but Hill Billionaire in the M4. Steve is awake. No clean lap yet, so we're gonna go on board with Steve. See what he's gonna be doing in these last couple of corners. Good evening, Samyrus. What's your expectation for the race coming from P3? And what is Steve's awake gonna do? Steve is awake, goes to P6 or 7. P6 for the Gt4s for Steve is awake after not having done a clean lap with just 1 lap to go. 2 laps to go for him if he doesn't mess it up. I just saw Myris. I hope for you too, man. You're not gonna crash, cause you are all the way in the front. So if you have a little incident, the other guys in the first 2-3 laps are gonna be coming up your bum, Myris. As we're looking at the Gt4 times, and Flitserflop just improved. Is under 9 seconds behind. So that's a 42.2, I think. Yeah, 42.2. Improved by 3/10. And I know we can go to the timetables, everybody. Yeah, the track limits scare me too, Myris. I think we're gonna see a couple of drive-thrus over here in this 1 hour. But Flitserflop 4/10 ahead of 3.5 tenths ahead of Digi Deliverance in P2 and Marta in P3. And then it's Disorderly in P4 with Floyd finishing off the top 5 for the GT4s. But the first couple of guys very, very close together, everybody. You've got a 42.2 for Flitserflop, a 42.3 for 42.6 for Digi Deliverance, and then a 42.7 for Marta, 42.878 for Disorderly. But I'm trying to see if Steve's awake. Is gonna be pulling in another lap, everybody. Is he gonna make a jump? Is he gonna go from P6 all the way to P1, or will he end up somewhere in P3? Didn't get a single lap, Darkblade. That's not good, man. That's very, very unfortunate. You're not completely last though, as I'm looking right now. But that's gonna be a tough race. And Steve's awake is gonna pull it up into the pit lane. Floyd is already in, and that's everybody done with qualifying, everybody. For the GT3s in the top 3, we have Dirtiest in P1, we've got Will Friedman in P2, and we've got Mr. Son Myris in P3. For the GT4s, it's Flitserflop, numero uno, and Digi Deliverance in second, and then we've got Marta in P3. So all in all, looking at the gaps, I think Dirtiest might be running away with it, but we know from Friedman he is always strong in the races. So my guess is Dirtiest might be driving away, but Friedman is very, very consistent all the time. And Dirtiest, although he has been practicing a lot in the lobbies, might be a little bit rusty. I don't know if he's been racing in other leagues, of course. So might be rusty, might be flying away with it. You never know. For the GT4s, everybody, it's all up for grabs, because the whole field basically outside the top 6 was very, very close together. This is gonna be fun to watch, everybody. We're gonna try and get a glimpse of the grid. And we're gonna try and get a nice little view. How can we do that the best way possible? I think this is the way to go, everybody. Almost the whole grid in the view, everybody. But llamas, no problem, man. I'll try my best alone, and you'll be here sitting on my right shoulder. Yeah? You'll be my angel tonight. Good luck, Myris, as well. Good luck, everybody. And medication, it is, like I said, it's definitely gonna be fun. Especially the first couple of laps with everybody finding their spot, finding their pace. And the field so close together.
30 seconds.
We're gonna be going to dirges though, everybody. And we're gonna see the field leave. Everybody getting off those jacks.
10 seconds.
Out of the setup menus. Everybody is gonna be pressing drive. Otherwise they will be going back to the pit lane. As I will. And then we will have to go back to Mr. Dirtiest. EMP! Why are you not on the track? Oh, you are! You are! I missed you totally. You were invisible, EMP. Invisible. During qualification. What happened? Alright, llamas, no problem, man. I think you shouldn't be looking at a different wheel. You should be looking at a different Xbox. Well, thank you, man, thank you.
Here you go. Gotta give something at least.
It's Will Friedman. And Son Myris. Are they all trying to already show their noses while they can still drive through each other? That's pretty crazy. But we're looking at Dirtiest Drunk, Will Friedman and Son Myris in the Mustang with Mr. Stubston out in the Ferrari just behind. These guys are coming up on the last corner. And we see a couple of guys in the pit lane. And one of these guys is MK Stricka in a Gt3, One of these guys is me, and it's Mr. Understeer in a GT3 as well with Mr. D. Gonzalez also. But we're gonna get the green lights and we're gonna go into the helicam, everybody.
Green light, give it all you can.
Here we go. Oh, and I believe that was Marta already getting touched a little bit in the first couple of laps. We're gonna go to the GT3s though, everybody. Stupston out, falling back, Bruce Twar's passing him, and it's what I believe was Svenny in the green Porsche trying to go around the outside with Brian in the McLaren just behind. And Marvinelli, of course, also there with the Lamborghini, trying to have a little look up on the inside. But is it gonna go well though, guys? Is it gonna? No, it's not. It is not. And this was almost expected. Or what we could have been expecting. And there we see Marvinelli coming back on the track with a drive-through for EMP. But we gotta mention though, it has been, if we're looking at the grid, and we're just gonna go through the grid for a little bit. It's a bit chaotic, I know. I am alone, so I do have to switch it. Oh, and that was what I believe was that orange McLaren was that Svenny? Yes, that was Svenny. And it was of course the other Porsche then, Hygon, what I meant, the green Porsche going around the outside. Gonna take a look at the leaders though. Dirtius trying to drive away from Will Friedman. As we see a lot of changes in the splits. These three guys though. Flitserflop, Digi Deliverance and Disorderly with Marta coming in behind. Steve's Awake is not far behind as well, so a possible 4-man battle on Misano for the GT4s. GT3s though, everybody, all going wide through the last corner with Svenny in P11. Roydy trying to chase him down, but it's Kieran coming closer in that older gen Ferrari. We're in Italy, and somebody once told me you gotta say Ferrari. These guys though, very close together. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Oh, and that's Kieran trying to make a move up on the inside. Switching left and right, but that's Kieran passing Roydy. We've got Stupston out, making his way back forward. Started in P4, now P5, has fallen back a little bit. He's gonna try and take that P4 back again from Mr. Bruce Twars. These guys though, you've got Disorderly, you've got Steve is awake, and you've got Floyd. Marta has passed Disorderly though. And Flitzer-Flop at the moment in a healthy 1 second lead on P2 for the GT4s. Here we still have Stopster now chasing Bruce Twars. Kieran though, trying to get the run up on Sveni in that orange McLaren. We got another battle going on, everybody. GT4s, Steve's awake and Floyd is chasing, both in the Ginettas. And I'm very, very sad, everybody. Llama's having issues with that memory issue. We're gonna go do a little onboard with what I was gonna say, Roydy of course, but I wanted to say Kieran, but Kieran has already passed while we were looking at something else. So we're gonna go on board with Roydy to see what he's looking at and see if he can try and force a move. As we're looking at the split times, we see Flitzer-Flop driving away from Digi Deliverance. Flitzer-Flop now 1.2 ahead. Behind that is Marta in third position, just 5 tenths behind. Oh, and this is Roydy trying to look around, not having speed or control enough to make a move. And this was Marta taking P2 from Digi Deliverance, everybody. We just missed the move. We were looking at it, but we just missed the move. And that's what I hate about the one camera setup, and it's not Llama's fault. We have been doing this in the past alone. But yeah, with one camera you are a little bit limited. And with 2 cameras you can just show a little bit more. But it's Disorderly now trying to have a look at what's happening with Digi Deliverance. And look at these guys. Very, very well done, everybody. Very, very well done. It's Flitzer-Flop 1. And it's Marta 2 and a Disorderly P3 with Digi Deliverance dropping back to P4 for the GT4s. Steve is awake though, behind Floyd. So Floyd made a move as well. And it's now Steve is awake in P5 for the GT4s, as we have missed the understeer here in between the GT4, so there must have been something happening to him. And Dirtius though, very strong race up until now, already 2.3 seconds ahead of Will Friedman. Will Friedman 5 seconds ahead of Son Myers. Son Myers probably trying to not get those track limits he was talking about in the chat. And then we have Stubston out ahead of Bruce Twars. But these guys blasting past that GT4 with Brian from Switzer Motorsport also going down into that same gap. These guys though, very close. We're gonna stay here for a while, everybody. Because these three guys are now possibly the closest on track. I'm gonna have a little look at the GT4s, but this is where we wanna be. Oh, and that's Brian, very late braking into T2. Rikel's sister having a horrible race, everybody. All the way back. He has done his pit stop though. But as we see, these guys are so close together. You see the GT4s now coming into play as well. Oh, and that's Bruce Twars, very close to Hill Billionaire in the BMW. Stubston out at the moment, slowly but surely making a little gap for himself towards Bruce Twars at P5. Brian though, trying to get closer and closer. The GT4s all have healthy gaps between them all. It's 1.6 for Maarten behind Flitserflop, and then we have Disorderly and Maarten both basically driving in the clear from each other, and it's Digi Deliverance also driving alone. Floyd though, trying to make his way to Digi Deliverance. But Bruce Twars and Brian from Switzer Motorsport are now the two guys on track we do want to keep watching. Oh, and that's very deep braking. Trying to get a run up on that Porsche, but yeah, the Porsche, I don't know how it is, but the McLaren on the front is pretty snappy, so I do get it. Those cars want to get into the corner pretty fast, but I've never driven the Porsche. It might be a little different in the corners for that. We're gonna take a quick look at Floyd behind Digi Deliverance. And then we're gonna quickly go back to Bruce Twars and Brian. Oh, these guys. GT4s in the mix. It's always chaos, right? GT4s in the mix, and you gotta battle with two GT3 cars. And you gotta evade cars. You gotta drive around them. These guys will not go off their line. It's your obligation to get past them cleanly, basically. And that's Floyd going past Digi Deliverance. So now it's Flitserflop 1, Marta P2, Disorderly P3 and Floyd in P4 instead of Digi Deliverance dropping down to P5. And Digi Deliverance has been having a great quali, but is now slowly dropping down the field. With Steve is awake, also coming closer and closer. But Floyd goes wide and Digi Deliverance has a chance to make a little cutback. Oh, just banging doors a little bit with Dirtiest drunk behind these guys, not sure where he's supposed to go. And that's Will Friedman, everybody. Coming back, but now also stuck between these battling GT4s. Let's see who it costs more time. I think Dirtiest lost a little bit more time than Will Friedman. Was 2.3, 2.5, is now 1.5. That's what the GT4s can do to your race, everybody. It's not because they're doing something wrong, but these guys are also racing, of course. So no hard feelings in my mind. Digi Deliverance though, back in P4 for the GT4s, and Floyd again dropped down back to P5. But Steve's Awake is coming closer and closer to these guys. Digi Deliverance going very wide, outbraking himself. And this is Floyd having a good exit, but Steve's Awake very close behind Digi Deliverance, of course. Manbarov, Seppel Amazing and Tony Roldo, everybody. Oh, Manbarov going off in those fast right-handers. And now it's Mr. Tony Roll in the middle of these guys. We've still got 42 minutes to go, everybody. Look at these guys. We thought we had a battle with Stopstenaut, Bruce Twars and Brian, but this is the battle going on right now. It's Seppel May, or it's I gotta say it right. It's Tony Roll in the Ginetta in front. Then it's Seppel Amazing in the middle, and it's Manbarov completing that trio of cars. And it's all for P7, 8 and 9 for the GT4s. Oh, Manbarov and Seppel Amazing having a big moment. And Tony Roll is driving away with it. We saw Marvinelli sitting front row at that instant. Steve's Awake, everybody, chasing down Digi Deliverance, and we see Floyd having a drive-through. Immediately is gonna collect that drive-through, but has been battling and has been trying his hardest. And a drive-through will approximately on Misano cost you about 28 seconds, everybody, approximately. we have Digi Deliverance in front of Steve's Awake. We do have another battle. Bruce Twarz and Brian Woe are at it again. Brian from Switzer Motorsport. But we kind of want to stay here. Digi Deliverance and Steve is Awake. Second to last corner, third to last corner, second to last right now. And Steve's Awake has made the move coming off the back straight into those three right-handers. And by now, Steve's Awake is in front. He doesn't do anything crazy. He should be able to try and keep that move going and try and drive away from Digi Deliverance. As we see another drive-through for Marvinelli, and he's already in the pit lane, so he is already serving that penalty, everybody. And we also see a drive-through for Mr. Understeer. Hushed Web and MK Strika though. MK Strika not as close behind as the split was telling us, but Hushed Web in that Lexus. Very, very curious what he's gonna say about the Lexus after this race. Steve's Awake though, not able to immediately make a gap. That's Digi Deliverance into the pit lane and gonna go for his pit stop, everybody. We've got just over halfway to go. 37 minutes of the total of 60. And we are gonna be looking at, of course, Steve's Awake. Is he gonna counter this pit stop from Digi Deliverance as soon as he finishes this lap? Or is he gonna be trying to get a little bit more speed going now that he's not battling and try and create a gap for himself? Steve's Awake is now on the back straight, everybody. But we see Stopston out coming closer and closer to Son Myers. So we're gonna be going here, and I do wanna kind of keep an eye on where Steve's Awake is gonna be. Oh, and Son Myers sliding around. Steve is Awake, second to last corner. Is he gonna be pulling into the pit lane immediately? No, he isn't. He is gonna continue. Stopston out. Son Myers. Stopston out, having had a little moment on his own, in my opinion. Mandatory is 25-second standing time, and it's a refuel. Tires are optional. And we do have Bruce Twarz and Brian from Switzer Motorsport at it again right now. We're gonna do a little onboard, everybody. We're hopping on board with Mr. Brian from Switzer Motorsport in the McLaren, chasing down Bruce Twars. That's Hill Billionaire in the Gt4 BMW. No gap at the moment. Gonna see where we're gonna go though, everybody. No major battles going on, so that gives me the time to have a little drink. And no guys, I've just been sick. It's not gonna be a weekend beverage, it's just gonna be a little sparkled water with a taste. Look at these guys, back at it. Hamsik though, still having to do a pit stop. And it's Seppel Mazing who had that little incident with Manbarav. And Digi Deliverance, everybody, is falling back. He had that drive-through, of course, behind Darkblade at the moment. And then we have Mr. I, Kiwi and Anderson. Flitserflop 2.8 ahead in P1 for the GT4s. Marte still in P2, Disorderly still in P3, and then it's Mr. Understeer in the pit lane with his GT3. Steve's awake, still having to do his pit stop. And what we say 58 seconds without tires, about 58 approximately. So if we're gonna be counting roughly 24, 34, and that's 5, so that's 39. So it's 51. It could be 15. Yeah, I think if I'm roughly counting out of the top of my head, if Steve's awake is gonna pit, he is gonna come out in front of Digi Deliverance. Happy birthday, Highgone! Let's go! Where is he? Where is he? The green Porsche. We want to see the green Porsche of Highgone. I might be blind again, everybody. Here he is, the birthday boy. Birthday boy, Mr. Highgone. Or the birthday man. We don't know everybody's age, of course. I'm almost going with on my retirement. No, just kidding. I'm not that old, everybody. I might have beginning grey hairs, but I'm not retiring anytime soon. Will Friedman, having done his pit stop, still ahead of MK Stricker though, but he is behind Roydy. Roydy making room. And now Will Friedman does have a little gap for himself. MK, Stricker and Roydy though both still need to pit. And these guys are giving us another battle. MK Stricker, oh, Roydy pulling it up into the pit lane, and I was gonna say Stricker really wild with the steering on that Porsche though, but he is passing Roydy and he is continuing on. As we have a drive-through for Mr. Rikel Sister. I never know what to make of that name. Like we can think of all kind of crazy stuff, right? But I think Rikel might be his friend, his best friend or something, and he had something a romance with his sister. So Rikel's sister, I don't know, but we're just thinking out loud, right? I don't know how this all goes. How you his name is R. Sistermans, so. Could be just a it's Rikel's sister, so it's Rikel's sister, huh? We can think of all crazy stuff, but I think that's our own explanation, everybody. As we've got Manbarav and Sepp Amazing back at it again. Manbarav and Sepp Amazing had a little incident earlier in the race, and they are almost in the same position. Manbarav now in front, Sepp Amazing behind. So I hope for Manbarav, Sepp Amazing is knowing where to brake. And Mr. Understeer, everybody, really struggling over here. He is still behind a couple of the Gt4s, already having done his pit stop of course, but he hasn't been able to fully clear the field at any point in the race right now. Steve is awake and disorderly, the last, or almost the last of the Gt4s that still need to pit. We've got the EMP, we've got D. Gonzalez, and Steve is awake and disorderly, still needing to pit. Flitzer flop though, virtually in P1. And Floyd, having had his drive-through of course, is finding his way back through the field, almost coming up on Sepp Amazing. So we're gonna stay here with Sepp Amazing, trying to stay behind Manbarav, but is already lost a second or around a second in the last 1.5 laps. So Floyd should be making moves on Sepp Amazing in about a couple of turns. He can smell that Mercedes, everybody. He's so close behind. Sepp Amazing though, he's reeling back in Manbarav, so it's not over yet, as we have Mr. Understeer up on the inside of Floyd. Oh, and Sepp Amazing having a moment. Up on the inside for Floyd, trying to keep it nice and clean. And it does seem to be working out. we've got this battle over here, everybody. Bruce Twars ahead of Brian. With all pit stops, or almost all pit stop being done, everybody, if we see people losing time at the end of the race, it's probably because they didn't take tires. So very interesting to see if people are gonna be losing time, gaining time in, like, let's say the last 10 minutes of the race. We've got these guys though. Saber still in front, Hygon behind them, and this is all happening about 15 seconds behind Bruce Twars and Brian. For the GT4s, everybody, we have Flitserflop still comfortably in P1. Then it's Marta almost 5 seconds behind. So Flitserflop very, very solid today in the GT4 Ginetta. And we've got these guys still fighting for P4. I'm gonna grab myself a little snack, everybody. And Brian trying to make a move around the outside, and that's not gonna work because there is two GT4s in the way. Very, very hard to even overtake there on the outside, but yeah, you can only try, of course. Try and do your best. I would say the Ginetta, Mercedes and the McLaren are all pretty solid GT4 cars. And look at these guys, everybody. We've got Darkblade and Digi Deliverance fighting. And we've also got Bruce Twar still ahead of Brian. And look at this, everybody. We've done all our pit stops. Everybody has done their pit stops of these guys, except for D. Gonzalez. But it's Steve is awake, ahead of Digi Deliverance, and just behind Darkblade. Darkblade having started way in the back, and now in a... Oh, and that was Digi Deliverance and Steve's awake, having a little moment together. A little kiss on the rear bumper from Digi to Steve. with Brian having passed Bruce twice, of course. And Darkblade though, as I was saying, started almost from the back of the GT4 field and is now in 5th position with Gonzalez still having to do his pit stop. But it's Darkblade with a drive-through for track limits though. As we were talking about a good race that he was having, he is now having a drive-through and is gonna fall back through the field. Gonna cost him about 28 seconds. 30th leading Gt3 Viper. Will Friedman is second and Son Myers third. 30th has been driving very solidly and has been driving away from the start. Only having a little moment with a couple of GT4s. Well, Will Friedman came close. Will Friedman has been very solid in 2, and Son Myers has been solidly in P3, I would say. So no problems there. Stops out. Switch Motorsport and Bruce Twarz have been fighting all race. As is Saber and Hygon. Then of course we had Flitserflop solidly in commentator's curse, yeah. As we have Flitserflop solidly in the lead for the GT4s. Marta has been solid from the start with Disorderly following him close behind. Then it's Darkblade who started last of the GT4s, worked his way up to virtually P4, but is now having a drive-through. So Steve's Awake and Digi Deliverance were battling, but Steve's Awake has made a mistake and Digi is now driving away with it. And I expect Darkblade to be pulling in very fast for that drive, because there's nothing to gain battling while having a drive-through. And there he goes into the pit lane as expected. So it's a lonely race now for Digi Deliverance. The little issue with Steve is awake in the last lap. We see another drive-through for Floyd. This is Floyd's second drive-through. Second drive-through of the race. Worked his way back forward, but he's gonna have a second drive-through right now, and it's probably gonna pull it into the pit lane as well. Uh, 28 seconds is what it's gonna cost you, so that's back to the grid. Back on the mic, Viper. Yes, I was feeling very rough, and those couple of drinks that I thought were gonna help me didn't help, so I was feeling absolutely disgusted with myself. And yeah, luckily I woke up today. I went to bed early yesterday, 9 your time basically, or 8 your time I think. I went to bed, just chilled out, did nothing else than just relax and sleep out. So drank a lot of tea, and I did feel great. I did feel better when I woke up. So very happy to be back. See Tony Roll trying to get a look at Ann Anderson. And that's about the only battle. Oh, and that's Steve's awake, everybody. My god. And he's out of the race. My god. I don't know if we seen that torpedo, but Steve's awake, done with this race. Not done with this race, but something clearly wasn't going right. I didn't know if you guys seen it, but he was flying through the screen. Steve is awake, full red bar besides his name as well. So I don't know what is going on over there. That might have been the torpedo action that we've seen, but not going well on Steve's end on the connection side. Yep, crazy him jumping. I thought he was literally, I'm done with this race, I'm gonna go flat out, end of the straight, just into the wall. But yeah, crazy thing. And that's about the only battle we're having on the track right now. We've got Mr. Tony Roll chasing down the Porsche of Ann Anderson, and Steve's awake just behind. But this is the three guys that we're following. Of course we have the EMP close behind Seppel Mazing. But it's not a 3-car battle. 3-car train, everybody. We're going into the helicam as we see Steve is awake, going around the outside of Tony Roll. And Tony Roll braking so early there. He might have thought he was, oh, look at these crazy things over here, man. Look at that Ginetta from Steve moving around. We've got a SG3 for Marvin Nelly. And a drive-through for Brian from Switzer Motorsport. Which he just cleared. But yeah, Steve is a menace on the track right now. Not because he's driving, but because of his connection. As you see Dirtiest in between these guys, and I do want to see what is going to happen when Dirtiest gets close. Oh, that's a possible track limit for Dirtiest or not. No, but the car from Steve was behaving nicely, I would say. That's Marvin Nelly in the pit lane, absolutely destroying his race. Or the SG3 is destroying his race, not his own driving, of course, but yeah, not a great sight to see. We've got these guys though. Steve is awake still, and Tony Roll. Tony Roll, of course, already having seen what that car of Steve is awake is doing. And it's twitching around on the track. Look at this, almost looking like he's drifting through the corners, which he's not. Yeah, Marvinelli, I suspected something like that. SG3 being in P12 is gonna cost you around a minute. Total time. 63 seconds. Steve's with Tony Roll though. Oh, and look at that car! You cannot race like this. I mean, yes, of course, I understand you're flashing, Steve. I understand it, but your car is moving left to right, and nobody is gonna know whether you're leaving the door open or defending. So I do understand you're unhappy with a little touch, but your car was not where your car was, basically. Yeah, completely different. It's definitely different. I have driven the Lambo. I started with the Lambo Marvinelli, and then I switched to the front engine cars, and I do like the front engine cars more. I mean, there's not as snappy, not as well on the turn-ins, but I do like it way more. And the Mecha and the Lambo are definitely also different cars in their own right, both being mid-engines. We've got EMP, everybody. EMP chasing down D. Gonzalez. the front of the GT4s though, everybody. We've got Flitserflop still in P1, Marta in P2, and Disorderly in P3, and they're all having about the same gap, 6+ seconds. With the Digi Deliverance in P4. At the front of the GT3s, still the same story, everybody. We've got Dirtiest, we've got Will Friedman, and we've got Son Myers with a little over 8 minutes to go. It was 6 seconds, I believe. Now it's 5 seconds. It could be down to tires, it could be down to traffic, everybody. So, as we were saying when the race started, Dirtiest might be a little bit rusty, not having raced in a while, and having done loads of practice though. Or not raced on XCL, that's what I gotta say. But the man is not rusty. The man is just flying away from everybody. And that's Sepp Amazing making a move on Mambarov again. Sepp Amazing now at the front of this 4-man train, everybody. We've got Sepp Amazing, Mambarov, D. Gonzalez, and EMP. Oh, and that's Mambarov and Sepp Amazing. Absolute horrifying incident. And that's Mambarov back to the pit lane. Four-man train. Became a 3-man train, but the EMP has been falling behind as well. So it's now D. Gonzalez and Sepp Amazing both in the yellow Mercedes. Twitch is doing very weird stuff, everybody. Syncing with the commentary is not alright, and I have been having issues with Twitch tonight. I've tried to restart it, but my commentary is a little bit in front of what you're seeing. So crazy stuff, everybody. And I don't know what has been going on with Twitch lately. We were doing fine and we were doing perfectly. We had a perfect connection, we had everything running smooth, and the last week or so we have been having frame drops, we have been having commentary not running right, we have been having stuff just not loading in on the stream side of things. It's very weird, and I believe with that internet connection that I've got over here, that should not be possible, as we're having a couple of more drive-thrus. For N. Anderson, a drive-thru, gonna be losing about 28 seconds, so it's possibly gonna be falling back right in front of D. Gonzalez and Sepp Amazing. And then we have a drive-thru for MK Stricka, who is also gonna be falling further and further behind. D. Gonzalez though driving away from Sepp Amazing. And you see almost Mr. Martin coming closer and closer to these guys, gonna be lapping them, as we see Will Friedman trying to make his way through the field. We do see Hygon and Switzer Motorsport Brian giving us a couple of more laps of battling, I suppose. very, very close, and that's Brian and Hygon having a little moment, and I do feel like Brian wanted to wait. He did brake, but he saw Hygon almost spun around and decided to keep going. And that's that battle over, everybody. We've got with about a minute 33, minute 34, we've got 2 or 3 more laps to go. Hygon though, I think Mr. Brian waited. I think he actually waited for Hygon to come close again. Let him pass and have a couple of other battles. Or last lap battles. 2 more laps for these guys. With Dirtiest behind him. If Dirtiest is a gentleman, he has 6 seconds ahead of Will Friedman. He is gonna try and pass these guys cleanly. These guys are battling, and he knows it. He knows these guys are battling. But he wants to get past himself, because if you're gonna stay behind him, 6 seconds is not gonna be that much, everybody. But it's Brian driving away right now, and he's gonna let Dirtiest pass. And it's Hygon trying to get back close in behind Brian, because he knows if he can just apply a little bit of pressure and he can get a little bit closer, he can possibly try to fight for 1 more lap, everybody.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it
Leader on the final lap, everybody. Final lap. And we have no major battles going on anymore. Brian is 1.2 ahead of Hygon, and we are now watching at Mr. Rikel Systemens. Hamsik P27, and we started this race with about 34 racers. And Mr. Understeer, very unlucky race. Had a couple of drive-thrus, I believe, and an Gt3. Very unlucky. It's gonna be Dirtiest for the last couple of laps, everybody, and this is in the Gt4's Mr. Darkblade. And it's Dirtiest. Gonna be finishing in P1, everybody. Dirtiest drunk. P1 tonight on Misano. And here we have Will Friedman, everybody. P2 for Will Friedman. And then we have Son Myers, who was scared of track limits, was scared of the chaos on Misano. And is gonna be bringing it home in P3. Last corner coming up. And then it's just a little straight towards the start finish line. So this is Son Myers, everybody. Coming over start finish, finishing the race in P3. And then close behind, not so close as we would have wanted, but it's Stopston out, P4. And Bruce Tor still having a longer way to go. Of course we have Flitserflop in P1 for the GT4s. We have Mart P2. And Disorderly bringing it home in P3, everybody. Then it's Digi Deliverance, very solid. Had a lot of battles going on throughout the race, and I believe the last 20 minutes were pretty lonely, with Steve Zawake falling out of the race or having a little incident, and Darkblade getting that drive-through, of course, getting out of the way, and that was Digi's moment to claim P4. Then we have Tony Roll, did some good battling himself on the track. And then it's back to the garage to have a little more view of what's happening. Sveni though brought it back home in P5, I believe, or P6. P6, and Steve's awake, falling back to P8, and Darkblade had everything against him, like he says in the chat. And Son Myers, you had a pretty, I think you had a couple of moments with Stopston out in the beginning, in the first like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and then it was solo going on from there. And of course we have the rest of the guys. I think we had a pretty decent race. Manbarov was absolutely, I won't say absolutely punted, but he had a little moment in the beginning of the race, braking too late and hitting Seppel Mazing, and then these guys met again on the track, and it was a little touch. Manbarov was on the inside, got touched by Seppel Mazing, and Manbarov went wide left into the wall. So that was Manbarov. Yep, EMP, I saw that you had that drive-through coming from the start, man. It was very rough out there. There were a lot of guys having drive-throughs. I believe Floyd in the GT4s had 2 drive-throughs. I think Darkblade had one. Couple of Mr. Understeer in the GT3s, very unlucky. 2 drive-throughs and an SG30. Marvinelli also not having the best race, also with an SG30, and yeah, just a lot of last on. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, guys, it's just very rough, this track. But I do hope, I was happy to be back, everybody. I hope you guys were happy on the track at least. And at least, even though you had a couple of drive-throughs and at least you had a couple of incidents, I hope you all had a great race. Yep, thank you for that, EMP. I'm gonna be closing off, everybody. It's time to let you guys race in peace without a camera on you, so everybody will just be a little bit more relaxed. And it definitely always delivers. It's the most popular race I think we have, besides the endurance and of course the upcoming championship. So definitely great fun. And sadly I didn't have my co-commentator Lamas, but yeah, it's time to close off, everybody. So I'm gonna start the outro, and then I'm gonna wish you all a great night. So have a good one, and I will see you all tomorrow.